Demetrius Johnson, the first and most decorated flyweight champion in the history of UFC, is taking on his nemesis, John Dodson. Everyone knows flyweights are fast, but these two men are faster even flyweights. The non-stop action in their last fight. When they last met, Demetrius Johnson almost got knocked out in round 1 and round 2. He got really hurt, stumbled really bad, and Dodson was all over him. The number one factor for Dodson is, can he keep Demetrius Johnson at bay, keep him at the end of his punches, and catch him right on the chin? Now these are two big ifs because Demetrius Johnson is incredible at cutting the distance. Let's take a look at how Demetrius Johnson cuts the distance and what he does when he has you up against the fence. Demetrius Johnson's got an incredible power double. He's able to penetrate and drive through the octagon through that double leg. He's got incredible depth with his double leg. But one thing that makes him so great is he also has great timing. He waits for John Dodson to move forward. And when John Dodson was moving forward, that's when he was shooting that powerful double. The few times he shot from the outside, Dodson was able to stuff his takedown because Dodson is just as fast as Demetrius Johnson. But Demetrius Johnson was smart enough to change up his tactics. Instead of shooting from the outside and getting stuffed, he waited for Dodson to come in with that big power. And when he did, he changed level, locked it up, and scored some beautiful takedowns. Demetrius Johnson has one of the best double legs I've ever seen. He's great at getting in on the legs and driving through. He has incredible depth with his double leg. But even Demetrius Johnson wasn't fast enough to catch Dodson from the outside. Many times he would shoot on Dodson from the outside. When Demetrius would shoot, Dodson had the speed. He had the speed to stuff Demetrius Johnson because Dodson is just as fast as the champ. So Demetrius was able to change his tactics. What he did after is he waited for the big punch. When the big punch came, Dodson was crossing the distance for Demetrius. Instead of Demetrius having to cross his whole distance here and get stuffed, he waited, and when those punches came, he changed level beautifully, locked up those legs, and got those takedowns. Demetrius Johnson is fast, but even he wasn't fast enough to take Dodson down from the outside. He had to wait for Dodson to come in with those strikes and then swoop down and grab that double leg. Luckily for him, he has great timing along with that great speed and power. Okay guys, Dodson getting taken down, but he wasn't getting taken down completely. He kept his back off the mat, was really smart about it. Stuffing the head, hand on the mat, hips come up off the ground. You're driving the soles of your feet into the ground. You're hip heisting, you're bumping the guy with your hip, making a little bit of space here. Notice this, put your weight on me here, watch. I just pop my hips, create a little space. And now watch this, that little space, I'm just gonna turn my knees down and come back up, oscillating back and forth until my knees come free and I'm back up to my feet. Dodson did this 4 or 5 times in the fight and it was huge because he was able to get back up to his feet and put his strikes together. All right guys, in the fight, Dodson had a hard time taking down Dodson from the center. You had to put him up against the fence. Every time you took him down from the center, Dodson was getting back up. So he locks him up against the fence with the knees. That made a huge difference in the fight. But all of a sudden, Johnson from the clinch, drops down, changes level, locks up the legs. He went from clinching to double leg. Beautiful level change and brings Dodson back down to the ground. He kept doing this over and over again till eventually he started to wear down on Dodson's cardio. Since these two last met, Demetrius Johnson's had 5 title fights. Dodson's only had 1 fight and he was sidelined with an ACL injury also. So Demetrius is obviously bringing in a lot more momentum in this fight, but the one difference you can't count out is Dodson has incredible KO power and he's blindingly fast. Demetrius Johnson has never fought anybody as fast as Dodson. The only man he's ever fought as fast as Dodson is Dodson himself. And the last time around, it was a very close fight. I believe Dodson's going to adapt this time around. He's going to build up more cardio. He's going to be more aware of the clinching and wrestling. And it's going to make for an interesting battle. And for you guys who don't like to watch the flyweights, you're crazy. True fans know real technique and real skill and real talent. And these two guys are just as talented as anybody in any division. And when you guys look back in the future, Demetrius Johnson and John Dodson are going to be one of the greats. And you're going to have missed out on one of the most epic fights in UFC history. Be sure to tune in and watch this fight. These two men are legends.